Good morning, children. Sairam. Today we are going to continue chapter number 1, Resources of Geography, or you can say this is the part 2 of this chapter. Children, before starting this chapter, I will just give you a quick rewind, a small rewind. That is, this chapter we have done an introductory part of this chapter. The leftover chapter will be continued now. Fine, children? Okay. Before continuing or jumping up to other topics, first a small question which you all can answer. That is, what are resources? Children, when we are talking about resources actually, what are resources? Before my before my reply, I would like to have a definition from your side, that what are resources actually. When we are talking about resources, what are they? Just tell us. Resource. Okay, before giving ultimate definition, I'll give you an introductory set of lines from your NCERT textbook. Listen carefully. This is page number 1, where geography textbook where I'm giving an example which is correlating between two people. Fine, Raju and Amma. Okay, how does something become a resource? Raju now wanted to know. Amma told the children that things become resources only when they have value. Its use or utility gives it a value. All resources have some value, said Amma. Now, what is value? Value means worth, quality, importance. Some resources have economic value, some do not. For example, metals have an economic value, but beautiful landscape may not. But both are important and satisfy human needs. So, some resources become economically valuable with time and some may not. So, what is the meaning of a resource? A resource means a particular object, thing, human being which possesses worth and value. Next, after that, when we are talking about resources, I have given you slides related to, I have taught you about natural resources, human resources, and human made resources as well. So, first was the natural resources. That what are natural resources? Let's have a brief intro from the textbook. Natural resources can be broadly categorized into renewable and non-renewable resources. Now, what are renewable and non-renewable sources? Can anyone tell? Renewable resources are those which get renewed or replenished quickly. Some of these are unlimited and are not affected by human activities, such as solar energy and wind energy. They do not get affected by any of the external or internal factors. If they are permanent and they are forever, they are not going to get hampered due to any of the factors. Then we have non-renewable resources of energy. Non-renewable resources are those which have a limited stock. Once the stocks are exhausted, it may take thousands of years to be renewed or replenished. Since this period is much more than human lifespans, such resources are considered non-renewable. For example, coal, petroleum, and natural gas are some of the examples of non-renewable resources. Now, after this, there's a small definition: stock of resource. What is the stock of resource? It is the amount of resources available for use, or you can say, and when you are actually in your kitchen, your home in kitchen, At times, you might have listened your mother actually telling you, children, to your father, that the stock of the vegetables is actually finished, or it has got minimized. The stock means the quantity of things, the quantity of objects that you have at your home or anywhere. Stock means the amount, the not amount, sorry, the quantity of things that you have, whether in abundance, whether in a limited tenure, or whether in a limited portion. Fine. Now, next is on the basis of their distribution. On whose distribution? Natural resources. On the basis of their distribution, resources can be ubiquitous, or localized. Resources that are found everywhere, like air we breathe, water we drink, and solar energy that we experience everywhere, are called as ubiquitous, and those which are found only in certain places are called as localized resources. For example, copper, iron ore, manganese. The distribution of natural resources depends upon number of physical factors like terrain, climate, heat, warmth. See, when I'm talking about heat, hot and warmth, all three are different. Heat is the direct sun rays falling from the sun. Hot means the weather, the climatic condition, and warmth is low radiation. It is not, heat means a higher temperature and warmth means a cozy temperature. So all three terms are different. So each and everything, when you are talking about the development of resources, when you are talking about the growth of resources, it requires a different kind of climatic conditions, topographical features, etc. The distribution of resources is unequal because the factors differ so much. See, when we are talking about if you talk about your last 7th standard geography, you might have studied about the cultivation of certain crops. When we talk about the cultivation of certain crops, suppose take tea, coffee and cotton, three different crops which are widely consumed by the people of India, by the maximum population of India, but the three crops are different in natures with the weather, climatic conditions, and they are grown with different altitudes, topographical features, and everything is different. So it is quite impossible to have all the resources easily available in a spur of an eye. Now, one more definition, that is resource conservation. Now, by its definition, you can say that resource conservation, that is preserving something, utilizing effectively and making minimum wastage. So resource conservation means using resources carefully and giving them to get renewed, and giving them, it's a correction children, it is giving them time to get renewed. It is giving them, what will be put here, giving them time to get renewed, using resources carefully and giving them time to get renewed. Now, another important definition, that is sustainable development. Now, what is sustainable development? This is a very important term, children. It might come in an exam, and this basic term does not depends for this 8th standard. It will be carried off till 12th standard, whether it is commerce, whether it is science, each and everything will be, you will find this term circulating everywhere. Now, what is sustainable and development? When we are talking about sustainability or to sustain, it means to survive, and development, that is surviving with the changes, developments. Actually, verbally, this particular word means this, but in reference with the actual term, let's have what is the meaning of this word. Carefully utilizing resources so that besides meeting the requirements of the present, you are able to take care of the future generations. I repeat, that is, if you have a resource available with you, if you have any resource available with you, say for example water. If we talk about water, what is it? It is readily and easily available in our homes. There is no problem of water at the present situation. But what if we are going to ruin or damage the water without making its optimum use? If we let go of the things in a manner, in a careless manner or in a carefree manner, we or our future generations will not be able to have, or you can say enjoy, the facilities that which we are able to enjoy and appreciate at the present time. So sustainable development means that we have to carefully utilize the resources available with us, and it on the other hand clearly specifies that the requirements of the present should be taken care with respect to the demands as well as the requirements of the future generations. Now, after this, one more and basic important concept, that is principles of sustainable development. Now children, what are these some principles of sustainable development which will help you to learn more properly? Respect and care all forms of life, that is whatever it is, whether it is all forms of life means water, light, apart from that nature. That is, when you take the word nature, it means you collect, you coagulate, you combine water, air, wind, sun, solar, each and everything. You have to respect and take care of each and everything, each and every aspect of nature. Second, improving the quality of human life. Now, how will you improve the quality of human life? When we are talking about the quality of human life, we need to have, what you can say, mutual cooperation with each other. How will you have that mutual cooperation? It means if some resource is in a limited extent, then you need to put it forth carefully. Conserve the earth's vitality and diversity. That is always known to you. That is, you people know it very well, that how to conserve earth's vitality and diversity. It's about basically about dealing with the flora and the fauna, that is the living the creatures you find, it's wildlife, plants, trees, and what else you can see. If you can basically deals with the plantation of the green trees, fine, you can't plant a tree, but you need a sapling actually to be planted, then only it will be growing into a tree. And moreover, promoting afforestation rather than deforestation. Now, getting back to next point, minimize the depletion of natural resources, that we have already discussed just a few seconds before. That is, no wastage of the resources should be encouraged or appreciated, whether it is about water, whether it is electricity, whether it is solar energy, nothing, not the natural resources should be preserved to the maximum and should be utilized in the appropriate manner. Change the personal attitude and practices towards environment. Exactly, when we are talking about change of personal attitude, that is, if we are actually burning, basically this deals with the, you can say, about the children also. It is not you can say not confined to an much extent for with the adults, because adults will be informed by the children only. Now what you have to do and how you can contribute towards this aspect: throwing away paper, unnecessarily cutting paper, dumping newspapers here and there, and cutting, pulling trees, twigs here and there, just throwing the twigs, branches of the tree just for the fun sake. No, preserve them. No need to actually throw anything anywhere when we are talking about. And one more thing, people who are often passing by through the forest and you can say open green areas, they have the habit of urinating. That is the biggest blunder of the era. That is what we have to minimize, we should restrict. And many such examples would be there which you can come up. Now, enable communities to care for their own environment. This deals with the scheduled tribes as well as scheduled castes, but basically with scheduled tribes, because they do not find a perfect lifestyle or a perfect culture for living up with the normal standards of human beings. So they should be allowed to live their life in their own styles without encouraging deforestation, because if there is going to be no forests, the tribal life and community may come to end. Well, that's it for today, and we'll be continuing with the next portion. And children, whenever you get this PDF file of geography, you can start writing up. Now you can start with the fair work. No need to ask me, you can actually continue with a geography notebook. Okay, one more important point that I have to share with you is, children, one of you asked me a question, which textbooks, how textbooks. There will be 3 textbooks, notebooks, one history, one civics, and one geography, so as to avoid confusion. No messy work, there should be no messy work. 3 notebooks so that you can work properly. Now history and civics will be same rule notebooks, and geography I want you one side rule, as you make for science also. I repeat, as you make for science also, one side blank. That kind of notebook shall be made for your geography subject. Thank you children. Sai Ram and take care.